President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to deliver the National Women's Day address at Richmond in KwaZulu-Natal Midlands today. The 9th of August was declared National Women's Day in South Africa in 1994 to commemorate women's struggles against oppression. It was on this day in 1956 that 20,000 women marched to the Union buildings to protest against past laws. For more on this story, we now take you to SABC News reporter Jade Pulsar, who's on standby for us with the latest. Jade, great to have you on the program today. Take us through what's happening there this morning.
Well, a very good morning to our viewers and welcome back to KwaZulu-Natal, the home of the Zulu Nation and also the host of this year's Women's Day commemoration and celebration. And, you know, throughout the morning we've been seeing jubilation, so many people coming out in their numbers to listen to what President Cyril Ramaphosa has to say in his speech. Many people also highlighting what they would like for him to touch on, obviously pressing factors such as gender-based violence at the forefront of some of the topical issues that we are experiencing as a country, but also entrepreneurship and opportunities for women. Now, there's also an exhibition that's at Sihlala Showgrounds here in Richmond, where we are broadcasting live, and we've been talking to some of the women that have been showcasing what they have been farming, what they have, cultivated. And I came across a very interesting lady by the name of Maggie, and Maggie started farming after the July unrest, and you would know if you were following the SABC News that was a very pressing time and sad time for us. Maggie, July unrest hit KwaZulu-Natal very hard. We saw so many of our shelves completely empty. It prompted you to start your own farming business. Just take us through some of the challenges and struggles that you've had as a emerging farmer.
Thank you so much, Jade, and a very good morning to everyone, and thank you for having me. I'm very grateful for this opportunity that we have been given as women to come and showcase what we are doing behind the doors, and today we've been put out in the open. And like I said to you earlier on, that it was as a result of what happened in July. You'd go to the shops and you would not find any food on the market shelves, but I knew that as women in our backyards there is food there, but then there is nobody who's willing to trust us that we've got the capacity to supply at large scale. So it prompted me to start farming. I'm here in Richmond at Honeywood Farm in Ilovo. It's a 7-hectare farm where I have planted 15,000 cabbages in March. The cabbages that I'm planting, they're called green coronets, and I put all my effort. I had to quit my corporate job for me to get into this, because this is sustainable. It's food production. We are feeding South Africa. We are feeding our children. We are feeding the nation. Now, the challenges that one would face were, for example, the lack of trust on the part of the market that a woman can do it, especially if you are a single lady or the business is headed by a woman herself. But I saw that when we get out there in our numbers, we are able to represent the women and people are able to trust us. Now, I'm grateful that Spar Richmond is buying my products. Every week, they are taking cabbages and spinach from me, and I'm also supplying to the local market in Richmond, because when I came to farming in Richmond, I heard a strong conviction in my spirit, and the Spirit of the Lord said to me, from Richmond to the rest of South Africa. And that's what we are doing currently. So most of the challenges, we've decided to turn a blind eye on them. They are there. Land ownership, we are asking that women be given land. I know there could be questions of, are you going to be able to sustain it? Because you are also doing many other things. But when we come together as women, we are able to focus on the vision. The reason why we started in the very onset, we're able to discipline each other. We're able to encourage each other. So if we could be given an opportunity to own land, I believe that we could do so much.
And you know what, I was just listening to you and I wanted to ask you, what would you like for the president to touch on, especially in agriculture, especially in entrepreneurship? And you've just touched on most of them. Land is a critical issue, and I think that many back at home home also want to hear what the programs will be, what government is going to implement in terms of the progress of women in farming. How far have we come as a country? Like you said, the opportunities, there are still not enough opportunities for our emerging farmers to break into the market. So we are looking forward to hear what the president touches on in terms of the entrepreneurship, business as well as, you know, the farming and emerging farmers, women such as yourself. Now, I do know that Vusi Khumalo, a co-anchor for the show, is also ready with a guest. So let's cross over to Vusi and find out what's happening on his side. Vusi, it's over to you.
Yes, good morning, JD, as well as the viewers. Yes, indeed. Even though I'll be no longer having a minister in the presidency, Maitenkwana Shabani, who was supposed to be with us near 10, but she'll be with us later on. Yes, indeed, it's a big day, especially for women in the country that have been advancing for their emancipation since 1956, when those women, 20,000 women, marched to the Union building to ensure that also we do have freedom that we enjoy in the country. Recently, we have seen a number of women in influential positions. Let me step out of the shot so that Ubaba Umpumelelo Mbili is showing you a number of people who are streaming in to the venue. If not thousands, if not hundreds, there are thousands of them. I must say that the majority of them are women. They've come here to be part of this gathering, to be addressed by the president. Later on, surely as the country we have come a long way, especially since 28 years into the democracy. We have seen a number of women, especially if you can take a look, especially with regards to the women having a number of advancements in the country. If we can talk about Banyana, who have recently won their first Women African Cup of Nations. Just recently, that's also highlighted the issue of gender parity here in the country, and also Sundowns Women Football having won their first or inaugural Champions League in Africa. That's a lot when it comes to achievements being made by women in the country of South Africa. And also just recently, Lara van Niekerk, who has also been a record holder when it comes to the Commonwealth Games in Africa as well as in South Africa, having that long course 50-meter breaststroke, being a record holder. Then also not forgetting Tatiana Schoonmaker, who has also participated and also won in the games that were concluded just yesterday, the Commonwealth Games. Well, South Africa is also waiting for the president to address them here at the Richmond sports field, called the Silahla sports field, here at on the north, in the Midlands of KwaZulu-Natal, just near Pietermaritzburg, with a lot of women, and also there are men that are also streaming in. But I must say that the majority of them are also women who are part of this main gathering to be addressed by the president later on today. Well, women are saying that this is their opportune moment to also ensure that they do enjoy the fruits of democracy that the country has today. If I can also say that the premier, that we are also supposed to have the premier later on. She's also, or the premier-elect, we're supposed to have also the start the program at 11 o'clock, and then we'll have Maitenkwana Mashabane, who is the minister in the presidency responsible for women, youth, as well as persons with disabilities. If I can take you through some stats, currently that we have, there are 150 rape cases that are reported to the police, but only 30 of them go to the courts, and only just a fraction of 10 result in a prison sentence. And also 1 in 5 women in the country do experience physical or sexual abuse at the hands of their partners. So really, South Africa is not a safe haven for women here in the country. And also more than 6,000 people who have been murdered in the first quarter of this year, from March from January up to March. Only 889 of them are being women, and also 300 are being children. Well, with that said, let us go back to you, Mxolisi, in the studio.
Vusi, you know, before I let you go, you just made reference to those shocking statistics, you know, that continue to escalate as far as gender-based violence is concerned. I don't know if you've heard anything there on the ground, but I'm definitely sure it's going to be among some of the things that will be tackled by the president as well in his speech. You know, gender-based violence is a problem. What have you heard there on the ground insofar as the solutions perhaps that the members of the community are suggesting there that they want to see in their communities, the solutions that might also come in the form of me and you as men in the country insofar as gender-based violence? What are the conversations there happening on the ground?
Yes, women that we have spoken to, they are saying that they are being failed by the justice system, including the police as well, because if you can check about the stats that I've just said, 1 in 5 women do experience physical or sexual abuse at the hands of their intimate partners. So some of them do report them to police. As I've said, that 30% are being reported or end up in court, but only 10 of them end up in a prison sentence. So that says that there's a lot that needs to be done, especially when it comes to evidence gathering, when it comes to DNA sampling. That's also the country is found wanting in that regard, and also a lot of women say that they are not feeling safe. We've spoken to one of them earlier on who was saying that they are in fear of their life.